On Disney here on the daily time frame, as you can see, we have found supply here at 110.83, and price has been slowly meandering to the downside. It had a nice little gap during earnings, followed by an area of consolidation, and then kablam! Price has has fallen from the sky in a dramatic fashion here today, and we see it going through and slicing through a few different demand levels here on the daily time frame. And overall, I'm looking for price to come back down here into the 82 area. We have two zones on top of each other here around 82 all the way down to about 89.64. So I'm really looking for price to come all the way down there. Now, in its movement to the downside, I believe that price is going to pop back up here, kind of reform these two little demand levels that it sliced through here today, followed by a continuation to the downside into the 82 area. Now, again, this was earnings over here, so we just saw price really pop to the downside. Overall, in these companies, from a fundamental standpoint, Disney has acquired ESPN, the TV network, and that has been a little rocky for them overall. And then as far as the uh, the whole news with Disney stating that they are going to branch out into their whole online streaming business, I feel has really met some mixed reviews, as Netflix has really been streaming a lot of Disney products over the past few years, and to state that they're going to go into business for themselves and bringing the streaming service not only from ESPN but onto their own streaming servers for all their different media that they have is pretty big news, and it'll be really interesting to see how this plays out here over the next few months. But I'm still seeing price coming down here to 82, so I think this would be a good area to buy as this move away from Netflix happens with Disney over the next year. Let's go ahead over to the 60-minute time frame and look at some levels that may be important here as price comes to the downside. As you can see, price is just like really bottomed out here quite hard over the past day. Just boom, boom, boom. Just one red candle after another. Hit a little bit of resistance there, but we don't even have any levels here for a while. So let's go ahead and load up some data and show you some levels from the past. Okay, so we've loaded up some levels here, and you can see there is a lot of free space to be moving to the downside now that we've broken those two daily demand zones. And it looks like we could easily keep on moving to the downside here. Let me real quickly check the software just to make sure that we need to bring 60-minute levels onto our chart. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. And so we can see some of those levels, because those levels were looking a lot like daily levels there. But again, we did slice through those daily levels, and we do have room to move to the downside here. A little bit of a little bit of support coming in here at 95, down to about 94.25. So we'll see a little bit of support right there. So I would say the first bounce will come in something like that, and then possibly coming back up here, and then following to the downside into the 93 and 92 areas is what I would be looking to see price do overall. Would be a nice little wave pattern as this thing continues to drop to the downside. If it doesn't touch this first level here at 94, be prepared for price to come back up to previous highs, okay? Like some of those previous highs right there that we had in like about 2 weeks ago. Look for it to come up to about 101 and then proceed to the downside. But either way you go, we're still looking to the downside. It's just a matter of time and how it kind of stair steps its way down into the 82. And again, that's where I'd be looking to buy in more of a counter trend type of idea. If we're trying to stay with the trend is down right now this coming week. So be looking for resistance areas or supply areas to sell from. Right now we don't really have any to speak other than the levels here at 101 up to about the 103 area. So those would be the areas to sell from. But until then, be looking for new resistance to form in order to get into the trend to the downside. So we're just talking about Disney and the online streaming that they are looking to get into. So let's talk about the largest online streamer right now, and that is Netflix. And as you can see for Netflix, prices has been moving to the upside here. We saw a nice little pullback right around the 165 area, and it is now continuing to pop to the upside. We are about to retest the supply level at 181 up to about 182.50. So we're just underneath that area. I would like to see a little bit of respect from that area to the downside, back down here into this brand new demand zone. But overall, let's not forget that the trend is up on this market, okay? So as we look here, I'm thinking resistance or supply is going to break easily. So maybe just a red bar down here to touch a 176, followed by more green bars into the 187 and into the highs of 191. So over this next week, looking for just the smallest of a retracement back down here, and then a continued push back up into the highs. As I move down into the 60-minute time frame, let's look at some of that resistance and support that's going to be coming into play here. Again, 60-minute time frame shows us a good just a reiteration of that daily demand zone. So we know that that level is right there. Let's go ahead and add some more data to our chart just to see where supply is. Okay, so here's supply coming in here at 181. Again, the 60-minute levels actually look a lot like the daily levels on this particular instrument. So again, we have a little bit of space to go up and touch supply, then back down to demand, and then I would be looking for 87 over this coming week to maybe 2 or 3 weeks out. I think it can happen a lot faster, so maybe a week or two. But overall, still definitely in the uptrend, so no reason to short on this market.